What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and it is almost time. The Bitcoin halving is almost upon us. The time of recording, it's only 33 days, 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 20 seconds away. So we're going to take a look at the current past events of the Bitcoin halving, the present, and what this could mean for the future of crypto. So when is this officially going to happen? So it could change. It doesn't mean it's actually going to happen in 33 days, 3 hours, 11 minutes, and now 12 seconds. It happens when this block right here, 840,000, gets mined. Once that happens, the reward from Bitcoin is cut right in half. So right now we're actually at a 6.25 Bitcoin block reward, and at the time of that 840,000 block height, once that block is found, it will drop to 3.125. So a full half of what this is, 50% less. That means all your mining rewards are going to drop by 50%. Now that doesn't mean everything's going to go bad. Now in theory, this does spark a bull run, and a few months later we are going to see unheard of insane price happen across Bitcoin. So I did mention that it could change. It could be a couple days sooner. It could be a couple days later. It all comes down to this block height here. Now, the reason that would change is either more network hash, more miners and stuff get turned on, or maybe some get off, either increasing or decreasing the time that blocks are actually found, which would mean to hit this actual block of 840,000, it could take longer or slightly faster. It all determines on network hash rates and difficulty. So let's take a look at the past of Bitcoin block reward. So in 2009, Bitcoin's block reward was actually 50. And in 2012, that did halve to 25. 2016, it halved again to 12.5. In 2020, which was the last one that we had, it did drop to 6.25, which is where we're sitting right now. And when this halving occurs, we're only going to be at 3.125. So you can see the drop in daily emissions that happens on Bitcoin. And remember, once Bitcoin is fully minted out, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Now let's just kind of put this a different way. The United States is home by far the largest number of millionaires here at over 22.7 millionaires. So in theory, just of the US alone, and there's tons of other millionaires out there in the world on top of billionaires and people like that, you know, there's only going to be ever 21 million. That means not every single millionaire in the United States alone will not even be able to purchase one full Bitcoin. What do you think the price could hit at that point? So we're going to take a quick look at the past halvings and what the price of Bitcoin was when they happened. So the first halving looks like it happened on November 28th of 2012 at a block height of 210,000. That's where we went from 50 Bitcoin down to only 25 Bitcoin. That still seems like a super high number compared to today. The price of Bitcoin at the time was only $12.30. The second event happened on July 9th, 2016 at block height 420,000. It went from that 25 BTC down to 12.5 BTC, and the price was 680. We can see some nice price gains happening as the cycles emerge. The third halving did happen in May 11th. This sparked one of the largest bull runs we have seen to date for Bitcoin and crypto. That happened at block height 630,000. We went from 12.5 BTC down to where we are right now, 6.25 BTC, and the price at the time was 8,590. And the fourth halving is set to happen in April of 2024, which we did see is about 33 days away now at block height 840,000, which it will drop from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125, price yet to be determined. This is going to be insane. Now let's kind of have a look at what the price of Bitcoin did and how long after each halving event things occurred. So here we can see we're here right now. We're at new all-time high ranges right now, and we haven't had the halving event yet. This was the 2021 all-time high at around 64,863 based on this. This was the 2017, which really started sparking people's interest into Bitcoin. And even though it might not look like it, this little blip right here was in fact a bull run. Let's just zoom in a little closer to that one. That was back in 2013. And now look at that. It is looking a lot bigger compared to how much of an explosion Bitcoin has been having each cycle and halving event. So So here we are at the very first Bitcoin halving event, November 28th. I can't get on the day exactly, but we can see we're in this range here of a little over $12.30 to $12.60. And what happened in the first bull run, which is usually happens about a year after it, towards November, December of the following year, we've seen a massive spike of $1,100. Now again, on the big map, this doesn't look like very much, but that was a huge price explosion that did happen. So we're going to fast forward another 4 years to the second halving, which did happen in July of 2016 here, just to get an idea of what things look like. So we got to find July here. July should be coming up right in here somewhere. So the Bitcoin halving happened around here. We did see a dip happen in this type of time frame here, but again, 1 year later, around November of the following year, look what happened. It just skyrocketed. Now, this happened a little bit earlier, towards the end of 2016, 2017. We can start to see the rise start to pick up. And then obviously, end of 2017 here, moving forward, we see this massive explosion of Bitcoin now going over $17,000. And this is when you started seeing it on the news, and it opened up a lot of people's eyes to the crypto market in general. Things are really starting to go insane. And now we're going to look at the current halving that we had for the last bull run, May 11th of 2020. So we got to find out May 11th. That's in here somewhere. That's right about here, May 11th, in this rough area. So right about here, the halving event did occur here. We were sitting at about $9,727 Bitcoin. And we can see from there, it mostly went sideways, but it then began about 6 months later, it started to rise. And it did beat the all-time high towards the end of the year here. But then we smack dabbed right into 2021, which is exactly the end of the year again, the following year, to a massive bull run that happened on Bitcoin. It was insane. And again, they last a lot longer. So let's look at here. Here is the latest bull run we just went through. We're going to rewind to 2017. We can see it did not last very long. It was a quick up and down over a few months. And then the 2013 right here said again. So now look at the big scale long term between them all. Look at the effects of the Bitcoin halving and the 4-year cycle that does happen on Bitcoin. Here's that little 2013 jog, which actually was a huge bull run for Bitcoin at the time, but it looks like a little blip on the map here compared to the future ones. Here's the 2017 one that really got people talking. This is the last one we just went through, and now we're still gearing up for the next one, which is going to be insane. They don't even have this chart big enough to kind of show you where it's going to end up. So this is kind of the effects that the Bitcoin halving is having. It runs on those 4-year cycles, and then Bitcoin just sees massive explosions as the time goes by. So let's take a look a little bit about the evolution of the Bitcoin mining. Originally, this actually started with mining on your CPU, and then it kind of moved over to GPUs. As we know now, it is all ASIC. And one of the first ASICs based on ASIC miner value here, there could be some in between that's not listed, but the Bitmain Antminer S3 at July of 2014 release, this thing was 478 gigahash at 366 watts. Right now, it's not profitable. It's only making less. You're losing $1.01 a day based on 12 cents per kilowatt hour. But we can see just the evolution here. Then a couple months later, it looks like a 1.155 terahash version, which is actually 1,155 gigahash here at 590 watts. It's seen over double the efficiency here. Twice the hash rate and not twice the power here. So the efficiency already boosted up. Here we can see the Antminer S7 1 year later, 4.73. So we're seeing about over 4 times the hash rate at a little over double the power here, but 4 times the hash rate again. You can just see the evolution of the crypto miners as they start taking off. And we're going to fast forward kind of to where we are right now, and Bitcoin miners are absolutely insane, especially compared to all of those ones right there. And honestly, you need some of the most efficient hardware and pretty cheap power because the network hash rate on Bitcoin is massive here. But we can see some of the latest miners here is pushing around 235 terahash, which is 235,000 gigahash compared to those early miners. They're doing it at about 5,100 watts, 3,400 watts, 172. But we have these miners now are just so much more powerful than what they used to be. So earlier on, I did mention about Bitcoin profitability dropping by 50%. Now, that is true, but not entirely true, as obviously we're going to see the price go up. We're going to see network hash rates and everything continue to climb as well. But the one thing, this could actually make Bitcoin one of the most profitable ages ever. Even with that reduction in block reward times, we could see some massive profits happening with Bitcoin miners. And I do have links to all the latest, most efficient miners down in the description if you are looking for those. But here's an idea of what I'm kind of talking about. As most of you guys may be aware, ordinals got introduced on the Bitcoin. Now, personally, I feel that's probably something really dumb and it shouldn't have happened. But for the miners out there, this could be a good thing. Because as you know, back here, this is only going 3 years back, so it doesn't have all the data. But we saw average around, this is in 2021 here, Bitcoin block rewards 6.75. Remember, transaction fees and everything are on here as well, paid to miners because they are validating the transactions. That's how they go through when you send coins to each other. But we did see a spike here of 8.74. Now, I don't think ordinals are around here. We went through here as all the average block reward, not much action happening. But then ordinals started taking off here on Bitcoin, and look at this. We've seen block rewards. Oh, it just refreshed on me. I'm just going to fast forward in here for a second. So we've seen block rewards here go upwards of 11.19. And we've seen a whole bunch here, you know, of 8.46. We've seen at 11.17. Now we're back down with a little extra transactions based on what's going on in the network, how busy it is. But moving into this next bull run, Bitcoin is going to get so busy here. The mempool is going to be filling up. We could see some of the highest Bitcoin block rewards we have ever seen. We could possibly think of, if you're an Ethereum miner, guys, think of before 1559 when those fees are paid to all the miners. We could see maybe 15, 20 Bitcoin block rewards, which would be extremely profitable, especially if Bitcoin's hitting a price of about 150 to 200,000 at the peak of the bull next run coming up here after this halving event. That's going to be insane. 20 Bitcoin paid out per day here based on massive demands and stuff, just due to the fact that these ordinals are on it now. So we could see actual Bitcoin miners becoming some of the most profitable miners to actually have in your arsenal. But again, most of the time, those block rewards will not be that high. It all comes down to network demand and how much action is happening. But the possibility is massive for those block rewards to shoot to the sky. So now that we're on the topic of looking at the Bitcoin block rewards and those ASIC miners, you're going to want to mine to a mining pool. A mining pool is mining with a bunch of people and getting your share of the cut when rewards are found. Mining Bitcoin alone, solo, all by yourself, is next to impossible to find a block. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but you are better off mining with a pool. Mining with a bunch of friends, that's pretty much what it's like there. So this video is actually brought to you by ViaBTC, which is in fact the third largest mining pool for Bitcoin, with various amounts of ways to get paid out in, either PPS Plus, PPLNS, or solo mining. Again, solo is basically luck. You will not get anything unless you hit that Bitcoin block. If you do hit that block, though, you will get the full block reward. So if it's a 20 block reward, when these things really start popping off, you're going to be buying yourself some Lambos. So what are the pros of utilizing ViaBTC for your mining needs? Well, one, they do operate a vast majority of a lot of these proof of work coins, but they're also one of the only mining pools that are actually owned with an exchange. So you can see here, you can go to withdrawal here, and you can actually withdraw your coins to CoinX, which is partnered and owned with ViaBTC here, and you can transfer Bitcoin and everything for free. That means zero network transactions if you want to swap your coins to possible a whole bunch of different coins that you want to do. Maybe you're hodling something else. Now, another major addition here is you can actually straight swap to Bitcoin itself while mining a bunch of the other coins. I know a lot of people out there love to stack the Bitcoin, but maybe you have a Litecoin miner because maybe it's more profitable than a Bitcoin miner and so on, and you want to stack that Bitcoin. So you can actually come into here and convert your coins that you have. Say you're mining Litecoin, for an example, you can pick either USDT or go straight into Bitcoin, and you can swap it straight into there, and then it'll adjust into your actual account, just like you were at an exchange, but you did it all from your mining pool. Another benefit you can do is you can actually withdraw manually whenever you want. Say you got a new miner or something, you're testing out some new firmware, you're trying to see if something is more profitable based on different firmware or settings on your mining hardware. You can simply hit the withdrawal button, claim your coins, zero your balance, and then start your tests all over again. Or if you're just a normal pool miner like everyone's used to, and you just want normal payments at certain amounts, you can just simply set auto withdrawal settings here, and you can get paid out to set address, whatever you do set, at the X amount of your minimum payment. So there's so many different options that pools don't really give you that you do get with ViaBTC. Alright guys, so that does pretty much wrap up this video. Let me know if you are a Bitcoin miner or what kind of crypto you are currently mining, and if you have tried out the ViaBTC pool for yourself. If you haven't, I urge you guys to give them a shot today and see how it goes for you. So many options are available as a miner. So thank you for checking this out, guys. The Bitcoin halving is right around the corner. I know a lot of you guys are excited for the next bull run. It is almost here. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.